we now have another major hurricane in the Atlantic. And this time, it isn't Maria. Maria has already been a major hurricane, if you didn't know that. Maria already counts towards the list of major hurricanes. But this time, we're adding another hurricane to this list. And that's Hurricane Lee. Hurricane Lee is a very low-end Category 3 hurricane at 115 miles per hour. In the last video, I showed a satellite loop of Lee losing its eye. That's because Lee was going through an eye wall replacement cycle. And when that happens, the eye gets bigger and better defined. And Lee did just that. Lee is looking absolutely amazing on satellite imagery. It's got this well-defined eye in the middle, but still overall Lee is a very small hurricane. Like extremely small, especially compared to Maria. Maria is still holding on to that hurricane strength. Maria right now is bringing the last rain bands to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. But when you're watching this, Maria is going to be long gone from North Carolina. That's because a jet stream is going to pick up Maria and throw Maria eastward. Maria is already starting to track in the direction of northeast. So that's proof that it's just going to get carried by the jet stream directly east, and that's going to be a fast process. But the Outer Banks were hit pretty hard with storm surge from Maria. It's definitely not to be overlooked. Even though Maria didn't make landfall, it still brought some pretty big impacts to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. But as always, this could have been way worse. Just look at Puerto Rico, who's not going to have power for 4 to 6 months. The situation down in Puerto Rico right now is not good at all. It's very sad. This hurricane season has brought devastating impacts to a lot of places. And sadly, we're still in September. Remember, the hurricane season ends November 1st. And we still got one impactful month left of the hurricane season. Do you guys remember Matthew last year? Well, that formed in October. So yes, we can't put our guards down just because we have already endured all these hurricanes. Hurricanes don't have feelings. They just form when they form. And hurricanes can strike the same exact place twice. It's unlikely, but it can happen. And it could happen back to back to back. Just depends on the odds. Well, with Maria and Lee not going to affect any land anymore, as both hurricanes are going to soon dissipate while they're traveling eastward, we have to look towards the future. And right now, there's two possible systems that we are watching. And one we're already watching, and one we're going to have to watch next week. The one we're watching right now is an area of disturbed weather that the National Hurricane Center has already outlined. The NHC is giving this area of disturbed weather a 10% chance to form within 48 hours and a 20% chance to form within 5 days. This is going to be something to watch. Right now, this low pressure is just south of Cuba, but this low pressure is going to head northward, and that's where it could develop. And if this forms, this isn't going to become a major hurricane, but this system does have the potential to become a hurricane. You can't underestimate storms with those boiling waters underneath them, especially just to the east of South Florida. But at the very least, South Florida is going to experience some above average rainfall to end this week. That's what's for sure going to happen. But from there, we're just going to have to watch it. But if this system forms, it's probably just going to be a tropical depression or tropical storm, and it's probably not going to make a landfall anywhere along the US. So think Tropical Storm Emily. But the system we're watching next week is a low pressure that's going to form in the Western Caribbean Sea. The European model has the chances at 70% for a tropical depression to form in the Western Caribbean. This system would then travel into the Gulf of Mexico and probably make landfall anywhere from Alabama to Brownsville, Texas. This is going to be something to watch because we do not want another repeat of Harvey, especially to the same exact areas that Harvey has already affected. That would be a major no-no. But for the time being, we have plenty of time to watch these systems. The minor system that's going to bring some heavy rain to South Florida, and the potential tropical depression next week in the Western Caribbean Sea. We've got plenty of time to watch this. But in the meantime, we could watch Maria and Lee dissipate into nothing. Subscribe right here to stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.